Hello from Slide Nerd and hello from Vivs. What's up, folks? In the last vid, I was talking about the manifest file in Android. I was talking about the layout. I was talking about the Java code and how it integrates with your XML. In this vid, I'm going to be talking about the activity and its life cycle. So let's go ahead. First question first, what is an activity? Simple, you have this calendar app over here, you have this settings screen over here, all these things which present something to you with which you can interact. They are called activities in Android. If you are a guy from Java, then it is just like applets, then you have your midlets. The same way you have activities which are nothing but screens, alright. So what do they do? Simple, they draw their user interface. Now if you see, there are so many controls over here: sound, display, storage, battery, apps, and so on, right? Now these things are drawn inside your activity. So let's go ahead and see how it works. So here I have my messaging app. If I click on new message, then I start the second screen, which looks like this. So what does this mean? This means that your app can have many screens, right? You can have many screens, but remember one thing: no matter how many activities you have inside your app, there's only one main activity. Now this sounds familiar if you're a guy from Java. Just like they say, there's only one main function. The same way you have only one main activity that takes care of launching your app. So an activity can start any activity belonging to itself. Like if you saw, if I click new message over here, it actually started another activity which is by the means of intents. If you guys don't know what intents are, don't worry too much about them. As we progress through the course, I'm going to be talking about intents and other stuff. So here, if you see, when an activity starts, the previous activity is stopped. Now here's the thing I need to tell you guys. If you see, there's an image over here which is an icon. There is a text messaging. There are some controls over here, and there is a text view over here which says no conversations. All these things are drawn on your screen, right? So if you click new message, do you think the Android system is going to actually delete all these things at the same time? It's not going to delete them. It's going to save them somewhere else, and that place where it saves it, it's called the back stack in Android, alright? So again, if you click back over here in this app, in your new message window, if you click back, you go back over here to the no conversations section, which was actually saved somewhere else, that is in your back stack. So we are going to see in detail what a back stack is and how it works, but for now, this is all you guys need to know. So how do I know whether my activity is visible to the user, pause or stop? Now why am I asking this question? Now think about this. There are only two things that happen. Either the user is using your app or the user is not using your app, right? Now my question to you is this: you're downloading some kind of file from the internet. Let's say you're downloading some GPS coordinates for your location tracker application. If the user is not using your app currently, are you going to download those locations? This is my first question. You're not going to download, right? So you need some way of knowing whether your activity is currently running, whether the user is actually looking at it or the user is not looking at it, right? So this can be achieved through special methods called lifecycle methods. That is what lifecycle methods are. They tell you whether your activity is currently being watched by the user, whether it is paused, whether it is stopped, whether it is destroyed, and so on, stuff like that. So here, why do I need the methods? Simple, define how your app behaves, right? For example, like I said, no downloads when the user is not looking at your app, because you're unnecessarily wasting the network and bandwidth. Remember, it is very limited in your Android devices. So now, if you're a beginner, you have this question: what is a callback method? Because you've seen this word many times. Here's the thing: Android OS calls certain methods on your activity to notify whether your activity is currently running or not, right? It is just like JVM calling public static void main. The same way Android OS calls some methods. Now let's see what those methods are as we go. For now, here are some general guidelines which you guys should probably read. When the user is not using your app, don't do heavy download stuff like GPS coordinates and blah blah blah, and the user gets a call while he's using your app or something else starts up, then ensure that your app does not crash. You have to make sure that you handle the things perfectly. And last but not the least, if you're filling a registration form on your app and suddenly your app minimizes due to some reason, and when the app again maximizes and you see that you have lost all your data, do you want that? Of course not. You're going to uninstall that app right at the first time, right? So you have to make sure that you take care of all these small things which are general guidelines. So let me go ahead. Okay, time for some action. Let's see what happens when the user launches your app for the first time. Now the user can launch your app from the apps section, or he can launch it through a widget or whatever. So what happens when the user clicks on your app icon? These three methods are called in quick succession, alright? On create, on start, and on resume. Now let's see what happens when the user actually tries to pause your app. So in this case, I have the first screen over here which says finish activity, show dialog, show activity dialog, blah blah blah, and there's a hello world written. Now this is the app. Let's say this is the app on which I'm currently working, alright. So now if I go to my log records just to check something, so what happens in my hello world? This is what happens. On pause and on stop are called in quick succession. As soon as I do that, now you're probably wondering what is the difference between on pause and on stop. I will get into the difference in the next vid. For now, you need to know that these two methods are called in quick succession. So let me go ahead. If you press the back button on that log app or whatever app we were seeing the second time, and you go back to the place where you were, then these three methods are called in quick succession. That is on restart, on start, on resume. Now this looks very similar to what you saw at the beginning. In the beginning, that is the slide back over here, it was on create, on start, and on resume, and here it is on restart, on start, and on resume. Alright, you guys need to note the difference that your app is already existent in memory at this point, and that is why on restart is called. Again, we are going to get into the details of these methods further, but for now all you need to know is this. And last but not the least, when your Android system decides that there is no memory, or you have manually called finish on your activity programmatically, then on destroy is going to be called. Now again, we are going to see when this method on destroy is called and what to do over here and all the stuff like that. But for now, this is what I need to tell. In the next video, I'm going to start talking about logcat, and I'm going to show you an actual activity where I have implemented all these methods, and you guys will see these methods in action. Alright, so are you guys ready to see stuff in action? If you are, then please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know what you think about this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Have a nice day.